As I'm entering this live stream on Mystical Monday and lighting the flame that represents the Divine Trinity, truth, wisdom, love. I gotta light it again. Okay, truth, wisdom, love, the triple flame. I'd like to open this live stream with a few words of what inspired it. And the conversation about the whole lineage of mystery schools. It's a conversation that I am most passionate speaking, but I also feel feel like standing on this beautiful open space of possibilities, surrendering into the transmission of how it wants to present itself. So if you're going to watch this as a replay or if you're going to join live, my name is Katerina Satori, and I've been on a search for bigger questions since childhood, since as early as I can remember. I was asking myself a question: what is this all for? What is this all about? And where can I find a deeper wisdom and a deeper mystery and a deeper direction of life? So over the entire life, hi everyone, whoever is joining here, please let me know in the comments what drew you to the mystery topic. We're just beginning. I just lit up the flame. So in the mystery school tradition, everything is symbolic, or at least 90% of the transmission is symbol, images, and codes. So the triple flame represents divine wisdom, divine love, and divine truth. So I lit this up, and I began with just sharing with you that it's a huge topic, it's a path that truly begins to call you. And you are being drawn to this path with a magnetic attraction, with a magnetic power. And maybe you first begin to hear these coded words, such as soul ascension, such as ancient temples, ancient Egypt, Atlantis, Lemuria, initiation, mystery teachings, starseed, ascended masters. And you begin to recognize these coded words: soul retrieval, shamanic journey, death and rebirth, incarnation, higher planes of consciousness, white brotherhood, Shambhala, Agartha, inner earth, right? Hello, beloveds. Hello, Maud. Hello, Jacqueline. Do you remember when you first were called by the path of the mysteries? It's such a unique invitation, isn't it? For some of us, it experienced like a shock of recognition. This is my path. This is what my soul was thirsty for. For some of us, it's a gentle unraveling by recognizing images, by seeing special objects and remembering them. For some of us, it's a combination of both, right? So the mystery school path and the tradition, I am going to share with you from my heart. I tried to run away from being one of the messengers of the path. I was perfectly fine studying it alone in the comfort and the safety of my home. I was perfectly okay studying different esoteric texts and simply doing it for my own soul development. But this is what happened next. It was like opening the series of doors, one leading into a deeper and deeper mysteries, one leading into a deeper remembrance, all pointing towards that unique destiny, unique soul assignment, unique soul task. And then finding yourself being drawn to rituals and feeling so alive in ceremonies and naturally invoking these masters of light and having this communication with them and feeling supported by them. And then remembering that channeling is a natural activity, right? And you keep finding yourself in those in those spaces. And you're asking yourself, why am I so magnetically drawn to this path? And what is the deeper invitation of this path? So it is lovely to meet you. I'm Katerina, and I'm wearing an ankh. For me, everything began, well, a lot of things began with remembering this symbol. It's a symbol of initiate, a symbol of eternal life, a symbol of awakening. And from the moment I saw the symbol, I said, I know this. I simply get to remember what is that I know about this symbol. And then the next thing happened. I received my very first ankh. I don't have it with me right now, but I received it as a gift from somebody who is dedicating the life to creating these tools to help people remember a bigger reality. And I remember holding my ankh, my key to the next level of consciousness, right? This tool to unlock new level of consciousness. And I was holding it and I was communicating to it through intuition. And I asked the ankh, open new doors of mysteries to me. Help me understand, help me remember what I'm ready to remember. So, and this is how the journey kept unraveling. And then meeting the whole Egyptian pantheon, right? So if you're drawn to ancient Egyptian lineage, there is nothing coincidental about that. They have been your mentors in your other incarnations. And I remember hearing the very first time hearing about Thoth and about Auset and Vajit and Sekhmet and Hathor and all these divine mentors of humanity. And each name was giving me a shiver of remembrance. I know this, I remember this, I know this, I remember this. And then dreams. And then this communication through dreams began. And these, we can call them archetypes, right? We can call them divine entities, divine teachers of humanity. They began making contact through the dreams. And in the dreams, they were making themselves obvious, available, reaching through these interdimensional spaces, extending their energy for connection. And every single connection point was bringing so much joy and so much meaning to this path, to this life, to this human journey, to this human incarnation. I find that the deepest gift of opening ourselves to the mysteries, to the mystery teachings, is connecting to the higher meaning, connecting to a much bigger reality that is unfolding, to the unseen reality that informs the seen. And then the mystical gifts begin to open, as if the soil was ready for them to sprout. I believe mystical gifts are within every single one of us. Nobody is more mystically gifted than another person. We're all mystically gifted. But it's a question of preparing the soil of consciousness. It's a questioning of actually preparing the environment for those mystical gifts and mystical seeds to sprout and bloom into a beautiful garden. So I'm here to share with you, I tried to run away from this path several times. And I tried not pretend that I did not hear the call. Does anybody else relates to this? Really tried not to hear the call. And then when I began connecting to the teachings of Carolyn Myss, she is a true legend of modern spirituality who brought to us this huge body of work on archetypes and on sacred soul contracts. And I remember reading her book, Sacred Contracts, and recognizing myself in that journey, in that unfoldment of receiving a call to the higher destiny, feeling so excited, feeling so connected to that call, and then immediately getting cold feet and trying to run away from it, and trying to give that call to somebody else who is more equipped, more prepared, more resourced, probably more mature than me, has more recognition. Why me? Yeah. So the mystery path, the mystery school path, when it begins to call you, there tends to be this inner wobbling and inner division of a deep desire and a soul recognition of, finally I found something that feels so alive for me. And the inner resistance, if I step on this path, oh my gosh, what will it require of me? What will it ask of me? And can I trust that? Because I'm going to sign up for the life of mystery. I think about ancient times, especially ancient Egypt, that I have a deep fascination about. And the civilization before that, which was ancient Atlantis, where people were applying to these mystery schools, and they had to go through a lot of qualifications and tests, and there were many requirements to make sure that they were ready to be initiated into the mysteries. And I think about, the level of consciousness of the soul through many incarnations, right? The soul had to become ripe for this journey. And the each mystery school that existed at that time was the beacon of communication, of intergalactic communication. It was a gateway and a stargate for higher beings to channel their wisdom to guide humanity. So one of the reasons why ancient Egypt, especially the early versions of it, the golden age, why it became such a luminous civilization. There is no other civilization like ancient Egypt beside Atlantis, but we don't have any archaeological remains of Atlantis. So what we have is remains of Egypt, right? So one of the reasons why they reached such peak of consciousness, as well as all kind of development of art and agriculture and society and spirituality, right? It is because they were guided, directly guided by the higher beings from other dimensions and other star systems. And we are living right now in such a profound times, and the turbulent times, it's equally turbulent as equally profound, that the return of mystery schools is a prophecy that is taking place right now. And I remember about 5 years ago, maybe 4, maybe 3, time is really funny for me often, but a few years back, I was watching mystery schools popping up online. And I had a thought. I was like, is that a trend? Is that just a popular thing that people want to be a part of the mystery school? Is that just a trend? I might have had a slight judgment around that at that time. And I said, if that is a trend, I don't want to do anything with the trend. I don't want to be a part of the trend. And the more I sat with it and the more I continued my own practice and my own deepening of this path, I was guided to this prophecy. It's a mix of Atlantean prophecy and the shamanic prophecy that 1,000 mystery schools will rise on the planet. Not in one generation, but maybe. Who knows? But imagine it is as a lineage, as a path, as a pulse of living wisdom that begins to take form, take physical form, and stand as an alternative to fundamental religion or the absence of spirituality, such as only science, right? Or surface spirituality. And there is these deeper currents of wisdom are coming online. And they become these energetic temples where people who are in resonance with the lineage are drawn to. And they're drawn to through resonance, and they're drawn through recognition as the path itself begins to call them. So I invite you to tune into this vision with me, because this vision gives me a much higher meaning for human incarnation, specifically this human incarnation. Imagine a planet being lit up with 1,000 living temples of mysteries, where people go through these progressive explorations of consciousness, and they're transforming into their divine potential through a series of initiations. each initiation awakens new abilities, new skills, new levels of divine service, right? New relationship with reality, new understandings, new embodiment, I would say. When I connect to this vision, it lifts me up. It fills me with so much joy and possibilities and magic and wonder. So when I was contemplating on the path of the mystery school tradition as a path, as a lineage, I have received these 6 milestones. And this is not the only way. Of course, this is one out of million ways, right? But imagine if there's these leaps of consciousness, leaps of transforming who we are into a bigger vessel for the divine to work through us. So the first stage of a mystery school training is actually a decision to step on the path. And this is when one becomes an initiate of light. Once this decision is made, you begin to come back to the path of initiation every lifetime. Once an initiate, always initiate. So maybe for some of you who will be watching this as a live or as a recording, as a replay, you will say, I am ready for that decision. This is what I've been searching for. And others will say, I have already made that decision in my past life. I simply found my way back again. And this incarnation is a deepening. This incarnation is a new spiral. I'm going deeper on the path of initiation. Right? But once the soul makes this choice, because this is not a decision that is made on the level of personality or ego mind. This is a decision of the soul. Once the soul makes a decision, I am ready to progress into a higher level, because the path of initiation is the path of mastery, of becoming a master of your own destiny, and eventually choosing to step on the path of accelerated soul ascension to lead you to become your own ascended master consciousness, right? The path, just giving you kind of the short version of the path as I remember it. But the very first one is that decision to become a disciple of spiritual science, to become a disciple of the mysteries, to apprentice with the masters, to apprentice with universal white brotherhood and sisterhood, right? To commune with these deeper realities and to be guided by them. So this is the first milestone of a decision. And what is required on that first milestone, I'm going to briefly cover it, is purity of intention, purity of heart, and this deep devotion, the ray of devotion. So Ascended Masters have 7 different rays. I actually have a course of Ascended Masters, and they've been coming through more and more and more. And I've been like, Ascended Masters, yes, we're gonna channel you again. So I feel they will come through as Ascended Masters retreat in the next short while. But when I think about Ascended Masters, they have these 7 wisdom rays. And the ray of devotion is a ray of the spiritual disciple who decided to answer the call of the higher destiny and to step on the path of the mysteries. Then, what happens then is the second milestone, is the training in alchemy. So initiate is training to become an alchemist. An alchemist, and what is the alchemist, right? What is alchemy? I love the word alchemy. It's such a beautiful, elegant word. But to say it simply, alchemy is the art of raising vibration. So, an apprenticed alchemist will be given so many situations and experiences where they will experience the drop of their vibration so they could master the ability to raise their vibration through intention, through alignment, through focus, through choice. And it's a training of the alchemist, the training, how do I become a master of raising my own vibration under all circumstances, in any situations, not only when it's easy, but especially when it's challenging, especially when I meet a lot of resistance. This is where the training of the alchemist happens. You know who is the cosmic mentor of an alchemist apprentice? Is the Egyptian goddess Auset. So she is a cosmic mentor on this stage of training in alchemy. And this art used to be so hidden and so secret and only reserved for highly trained initiates. But we live in the different times. We live in the times of a new prophecy taking form. So this is the second stage, which is the training of the alchemist. Consciously learning to raise our vibration. Now, who is interested for the third stage? The third stage, or at least the one as I see it, is the training on oracular mysteries. This is where an apprentice of mystery schools is being taught how to access cosmic memory bank, Akashic field, and how to connect to the Sphinx, the one who is in Egypt. Sphinx is a cosmic altar. Imagine a Sphinx as a physical representation of a cosmic altar, as a keeper of all the knowledge of everything that took place on the planet Earth. So becoming an oracle is learning to open up your intuitive channels. Channels? Yeah, your intuitive channels to receive the information from this cosmic altar. So that's stage number 3. Stage number 4 is training to become a priestess or a priest. And a priestess or a priest is a devotee of the mysteries who is in service to humanity by being the keeper of the living flame of wisdom. This is why I really wanted to bring the triple flame. So a priest or a priestess of the mysteries becomes the living flame, embodies the wisdom and becomes the living flame. The key responsibility of this archetype, of this stage of training, is mastery of stillness. Learning to value stillness and learning to hear the voice of silence. Learning to hear the wisdom of the silence. On this stage, the priest or the priestess, everything in their life becomes an offering to the divine. Their living place begins to get transformed, right? So they begin to call their home a temple. They begin to approach their body as a temple. They begin to look at their mind as a temple, heart as a temple. They begin to transform themselves as a living vessel for the divine. And I wonder, how long was that training in ancient times for an apprentice to transform completely into a living vessel of the divine energy? The next stage, or maybe it's a parallel stage, right? They only look in my mind as a linear stages. I feel that each of these milestones, they like weave into each other. And one part of you gets activated, and then another part of you gets activated, and they all start supporting and blooming together. So the next stage that I wrote down is apprentice of the mysteries is becoming a healer. And they begin to activate these healing abilities where they heal through their energy alone, through their presence alone. I find that part of becoming a healer is so much about learning to get out of the way. And this is such a deep process for me because my mind and my intellect can be very stubborn and really likes to interfere with the process. So much of my personal training in this curriculum is learning to get out of the way. Each time I do, the beauty and the deep fulfillment and deep satisfaction of making yourself available, right, as the window through which the healing energy, universal healing energy can stream. There is nothing like that. So you're awakening this healer ability, right? And the stage number 6, or the milestone 6 of training in ancient mysteries, is opening channeling abilities and becoming a channel and streaming this divine consciousness for the upliftment of the community or those that you are meant to serve or you're called to serve. And you may, at this stage, you may be drawn to automated writing or light language or communicating with different star beings. You're naturally drawn to these topics. And you ask yourself, how can I open up these abilities more and more and more and more? You just can't get enough of it, right? So the mystery school tradition is a living flame of wisdom that has come to us from the ancient times of Lemuria and Atlantis, and then ancient Egypt. And then we had these different expressions of the mysteries, right? From Celtic tradition, from the goddess lineages, from shamanic traditions. But every spiritual path has a mystical thread to it that beats with a certain resonance, that when you connect with it, you recognize it and you yearn for it and you long for it, right? So these are the threads of this path. And what is the ultimate goal, right? The ultimate aim of this path? Well, I feel it's for every initiate of light to discover on its own. And when we discover, when we find each other, I'm discovering that when more of us begin to share our passion for mysteries and our devotion to this path, we begin to recognize each other. And we begin to gather together and study together and practice together and uplift and support each other and ignite the codes of these mysteries inside of each other. And each person will find their own diamond of this path. I can only speak from my experience. I find the deepest meaning and the deepest purpose in the journey of raising your own vibration, opening your consciousness to the love, to the higher and higher realities, remembering who you are, remembering your soul task, becoming a living flame, illuminating the path, not only for yourself, but for others who are searching the light, who are searching for the light, and anchoring the higher frequency on the planet through your own embodiment, through your own path, through your own experience. One thing that I keep hearing from my guides, whether it's Thoth or Auset or Atlantean guides, is once you are an initiate, you're always initiate. And you're progressing through these dimensions and levels of consciousness. And each dimension gives you access to new abilities and also new responsibilities. Oh, it even rhymes. New abilities and new responsibilities. So I'm going to pause here and check in with you. If this resonates, if you remember what resonates, do you have any questions? It's a mystical Monday. Yeah, Ascended Masters Retreat. You know, I remember when I was first beginning this journey, I was so hungry for any knowledge I can find on this topic. You know, I would find information about Ascended Masters and their etheric retreats and their ashrams. And I would say, where can I learn more? How can I study this? How can I almost connect to this lineage? Because I feel there is connection there. I feel there is something there for me to remember, right? To remember. It's all about remembering. And the training, right? The training of really living as an initiate of light. It's a twofold path. It's a path of opening up higher abilities and higher responsibilities. But because you are rooted in a higher purpose, you gladly receive and embrace both. It lifts you up. It lifts you up, and at the same time, it teaches you how to ground, right? Because the higher you go in expanding your consciousness to the cosmic level, the deeper you get to build your roots. So you become the bridge between dimensions. And in the mystery school tradition, they always talk about the uniqueness of human incarnation. I used to look down on the human incarnation. It's only been, just the last 10 years or so, I finally embraced human incarnation. I used to resist human incarnation and deeply unconscious, not really wanting to be here, until I was connected to these ancient mysteries teachings that showed the profound sacredness of human incarnation, because it's only in human body we can become the bridge between the physical and the non-physical. It's only in the human body we can experience both enlightenment and embodiment. So, when I receive that profound knowledge from emerald tablets written by the teacher of humanity, Egyptian Atlantean, let's just say correctly, Atlantean god Thoth, he would say the uniqueness of human existence is that we are the bridge between heaven and earth, between physical and non-physical, between seen and unseen. This is why when we drop the body and go through the portal of death, we feel profound joy of reconnecting to oneness, but we also feel profound grief for all the times we have wasted being on the planet and not really wanting to be here. You know, it's only when we drop the physical body, we look at our physical incarnation and we say, oh my gosh, how many moments have I missed? Please send me back. Can I go back? You know, when you read the writings of people who went through near-death experience, and every single person who had a choice between whether to stay or to go, the majority of them chose to come back. Right? They were given an option to stay in the field of oneness. But once they experience the field of oneness, they say, no, 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 give me back physicality. Let me go back to physicality. Let me go back to the task that I have not finished just yet. You know, I took this incarnation to learn and to experience and to have profound moments of joy. But I also came to finish something. I came to progress to a next level of consciousness. So the human incarnation is a school. We come here because on the physical density, we have the most ripe condition for the evolution of the soul. And when we take many, many incarnations, there comes a point that the soul desires to go deeper. And that's the point where the soul seeks initiation, where the soul seeks the path of mysteries, where the soul says, I desire to know the full truth. Give me the mysteries. Initiate me into the mysteries. Right? So this is an introductory conversation on the mystery school lineage that has been formed by the masters of light, by the council of wisdom, by the universal council of wisdom. And this is the council of wisdom that guides not only humanity, but everything that exists in our cosmos, all other civilizations. And isn't it amazing to remember that we exist in divine order? I remember reading in one of Paramahansa Yogananda books. I'm a big lover of Paramahansa Yogananda teachings. And in one of his books, he says, the divine plan exists, and it's beautiful and it's true. And I remember reading that and just nourishing my soul with that confirmation that there is divine order and divine plan, not only for our humanity, but for the entire cosmos. And it's beautiful and it's true and it's unfolding, and we are a part of it. Every single one of us is a part of the divine plan. Every single one of us has a unique way to contribute to the truth and the beauty of the divine plan. And yes, a lot of us will feel the call to this path or any other path that will invite the maturation of our soul. And we may want to run and say, no, not ready yet. Even though I want all these supernatural abilities, I want to hear the mind of the cosmos. I want to know how to heal myself. I want to know how to receive and call in miracles. I want to be the beacon of light for humanity. But with all these abilities comes all these responsibilities. Can I just have abilities but no responsibilities? I wish I could say That's how it goes. But as I hold my labradorite, a beautiful crystal, imagine in ancient Egyptian temples, Atlantean temples, I would say, the walls were covered in crystals. They were called living walls of wisdom. Imagine stepping into a temple that is covered in crystals. You're stepping into a temple of amplifier. Imagine you as a child would be taken into initiation or maturation of your consciousness, and you would be brought into a ritual of remembrance of who you are. And you would look into a giant, giant crystal that would activate your soul memory. And you would be shown the path of your true destiny. You would still given an opportunity to choose it or not. And that's the beauty of the free will, right? We can receive a revelation into our true destiny, but we still have a free will whether we choose to follow it or not. Thank you, Sarah. Totally. I do have a funny side, right? It's like, and I gotta tell you, the path of the mysteries, it's a path of this ongoing conversation with the cosmos, with the mind of the universe. And the mind of the universe says, what do you choose? What do you desire? What do you wish to remember? Do you wish to remember who you truly are? Or do you still enjoy to live in forgetting? What game will we play today? So I am offering you, my dear community, this exploration of the mysteries that I've been in deeply, and I love this path. You know, there is no bigger joy than being in a ritual or gathering people together for a sacred ceremony, or leading a healing circle, or teaching on ascended masters. There is nothing like that. And if that is the calling of your soul, if you are yearning for this path, if the word mysticism tickles something deeper in you, then I invite you to lean in and to trust that, and to say, I am willing. This is my time. All these mystery schools are opening and opening and glowing with the light and the vibration. And everything in life is a spiral. You know, I think about in Atlantean and Egyptian times when the temples were destroyed, and how much grief it brought to the temple keepers and the priests and the priestesses, right? And everything that they've built were destroyed through a cataclysm, through the great veil of forgetting. But some very high initiates of light were able to stay calm and find a deeper vision, because they knew everything is spiral, and there will come a time where the mysteries will return, and the human consciousness will be ready to receive them in a completely new way. And people will remember themselves as lovers of mysteries. And people will begin to open their hearts and their minds and begin to find the deep, deep nourishment. Because what the mysteries do, they give the food for our soul. When our soul doesn't get substantial food, like superfood, right? When our soul lacks minerals, we experience life as dull, boring, lacking something that we can't pinpoint. And the moment we give our soul a real nutrition, such as what is the higher mysteries, what happens to my soul after death, what is the cycle of reincarnation, why is, when I start incarnating on this planet, there's 3,000 lifetimes. Imagine Imagine, my dear friends, 3,000 lifetimes. We keep coming back. We take another body, we take another body, we take another body. And you know what's so interesting? That half of those thousands of lifetimes we spent unconsciously. Meaning the moment the soul, the moment the person dies, they just take another body, dies, take another body, take another body. And very little integration, assimilations of lessons, and very little growth is happening. But everything changes when we begin to search for spiritual realization. Then a soul steps on a completely different trajectory, completely different path. And integration time between our incarnations becomes longer and longer and longer. So when you die, you don't rush to take another body. You're going to spend maybe 50, 100 years in integration, in assimilation of every lesson, every experience. You will turn it around. You will look at it to understand how did you grow that lifetime. And then you will gather with your own team of guides and carefully plan your next incarnation to make sure that you hit the targets this incarnation, whatever that it means for you. If you were avoiding love and if you were carrying intimacy wounds every lifetime, you were like, I'm putting my foot down. This lifetime, I am going to learn how to love. No matter how many times my heart will be broken, I'm going to learn how to love, right? So you become a more precise architect of your evolutionary journey when you apprentice in the mysteries. And you grow your soul body. I don't want to make this live stream too long, but you see, once I start talking about this topic, it is a deep passion of my soul. You know, it's a deep passion of your soul. And then you arrive to this point on your journey where you realize maybe it's one of my last lifetimes. You're like, I wonder if I am approaching the end of the cycle. So then the question is, what do I get to create that is worth creating? And this is a question that it has been burning inside my soul. This is a question that drives me to open the doors to the mystery school. And you will see me posting about it and sharing about it. This is the question that invites me to step into this territory, into this path, and say, who wants to study mysteries together? Who wants this next adventure of consciousness? Who wants to remember at deeper levels of reality? I am at your service. If you're the one who is yearning for these type of subjects and rituals, initiations, I invite you to connect with me. Also invite you to check the posts that will be coming. This year, I'm focusing on my teacher's trainings, mystery school, and possibly leadership training. Haven't tuned into that. But for this deeper mystery, the mystery school wants to go first. And I'm going to finish at 55 minutes. For those of you who's going to watch this as a replay, and if you just jumped in, this was a very rich exploration of the whole lineage. Well, as much as I was able to cover in an hour of mystical transmission. And if you've been with me from the very beginning, thank you. You're my fellow mysteries lover. And if you just joined, you can watch the replay when it's getting posted. But this is why we ask ourselves these questions. Because it determines what do we choose in our next incarnations. What will we choose to focus on? What will we choose to create? So, from one lover of mysteries to the next, Remember, mysteries are the food for the soul. And there's nothing like that. When the soul is ready to remember, it will not rest until it's find its lineage and its path. Until next, thank you.